Okay, guys, sometimes in this hobby, you go through good times and bad times. Um, we made a video of that a couple weeks ago, a couple months ago. But then also, the bad days, like this particular fish, if you notice how skinny he is, it looks like he's got no stomach there. I've had this fish for about, I don't know, 3 years now. I got him when he was a baby, but I never treat him for parasites when I got him. So, um, and parasites over time can stay in the fish's body. Um, what exacerbates them when they get bigger or they attack the fish more is when the fish gets stressed. So, um, we had this fish in that tank back there, which is the 120. We moved them all together at one time. We did have a pH issue in there. We also had some aggression going on. We had to get rid of the jaguars. Sometimes this happens when you move fish, when you stress them out. It could exacerbate any kind of disease or any kind of parasites they may have. Now, the reason why I think it's parasite because I treated this guy 3 times with Epsom salt bath. His color doesn't look great. Um, he looks better than he was, but I want to just give him some treatment, put him in a quarantine tank for a couple of days. And what's good about the stuff that I use is called XLP or XPELP. Sorry, it's this stuff here. I know people are gonna say, "Well, you're making a promotion video." No, it's not. This is stuff I use, but the active ingredient is levamisole hydrochloride. So you can buy this in other drugs have it, but I swear by this. I think this is the best stuff you can buy, um, and we want to just quarantine this fish for a week or so. I know it's kind of tight in there for him. It's a 15-gallon, but it's going to be the best for him for right now. I've actually used this stuff before on some blue acaras that had the blue acara had a different issue. He was, they were kind of not eating. This guy eats, but the problem is he's eating, but he's not pooping. Um, I've watched him, and in the beginning he was pooping yellow or white, which means that he was constipated. But now, when I watched him poop, he wasn't pooping any worms out. So I know there's still, if he does have worms, they're still inside him. So if you look at him closer, you can see how skinny he is. I like the fact that he's long, which that means he's growing. He's about, I would say, about 7 to 8 inches right now. But the fact that he's not getting bulkier, which if you guys are familiar with green terrors, they get kind of bulky. And my fish all have bellies, and they all like to eat. So if you look at these fish right here, that's an old African civet I've had for about 10 years. She's a little bitchy, but the Jack Dempsey right there, you can see how thick he is. So he's not he doesn't have worms. He's thick as hell. But like I said, this guy he's growing nicely, but I just want to make sure. I could be wrong, but like I said, I did 3 Epsom salt baths on him already. Like I said, the poop in the beginning was white, but then he's not pooping at all now, which tells me that if he's eating, that there's parasites in there and they're eating the food and hosting off him. So I've used this stuff before, and it actually you can see I took everything out of here. I did have the Severums in here. I moved the Severums to this tank for now. I'm a little worried about putting them in there for right now, but it's only gonna be for a week. If I like to keep them in there because they're gonna get about a good 8 to 10 inches, and obviously I want to get them to the point where I can put them in this tank here. But we're going to continue to watch these Severums. If they start getting aggressive, we're going to take them out of there and put them downstairs in a 20-gallon or 30-gallon where the other convicts are. But I was afraid the convicts would be too rough for them. The blue Acara are in there, but they're not really aggressive. They can be if they want to be, but we'll see how it goes. If they starting to be a bunch of dicks, we're going to get them out of there. Um, and of course, we got the Brashardi in there that's been in there for like 5 years. You can see he's already getting a little feisty. We may have to move them, but we'll take a look to see. Like I said, we'll keep an eye on it. He's definitely chasing that fish, but it usually takes a little bit before Um, they get acclimated. That Brichardi is going after him big time. So if they start to attack him pretty good, I'll have to move him. But we'll see what happens. But the main focus on this guy here, like I said, the only issue I have is the fact that um, you know, when he was in this tank, if he does have any worms, the only issue you have is hoping that it doesn't get into the substrate in here, and he doesn't get anybody else sick. I've been keeping an eye on this tank a lot. There's no other issues. At least I don't think so. But one thing you don't want to do is use this whole pack, this whole box of XLP, and on your whole tank. You want to just use it in a quarantine tank. That's why I always tell people to set up a quarantine tank in case your fish get sick, because this does happen. Believe it or not, if you read up on fish, fish do get stressed. It just happens when they get stressed. They don't. Sometimes they don't eat, but this guy's eating, like I said, and he's not thick enough. So that's why I'm hoping that with this treatment we'll get him in here, and he'll poop out some worms, and we'll keep him in there for about a week, and then we'll treat him again, and then we'll put him back into the main tank. If there is no worms, then tomorrow morning when I come in here and there's no worms, I will continue to I will. There's no worms, then I'll put him back in the tank. But you'll notice right away, if you guys remember the video, you go back to the Blue Acara video, we had a bunch of worms on the bottom of the tank. I mean, there were literally white worms all over the bottom of the tank. And those are dead worms. So, this fish, I love this fish. He's one of my favorite fish I have. We're just doing the best thing for this fish. If we do, we're just doing it as a precautionary. Like I said, I usually, if I catch something early, I will treat them. But I never noticed this guy having any issues with any type of parasites. So, but all my fish are good. You know, I don't have any issues with parasites. But you know, we have to be careful to make sure that you know, none of these guys get them. But like I said, I usually quarantine. I did have this stuff at one point. For some reason or another, I don't remember if I got this fish from the store or if I got it from someone else in the trade. I don't remember. It's been so long. I know the Jack Dempsey we got from Vance, but the Green Terror, I'm not sure where I got him from. So it could have been the fact that I got him from maybe a donor or somebody who didn't want him, and I just put him in a tank and I never treated him. Could be possible because they told me he was healthy. But what's good about it is that he still got some coloration on his back, but I like to see a bit more coloration on his sides. I see more of that green showing. He got some green. You can see he's very active. He looks like he's happy in there, but we still want to make sure that he's 100% healthy and that he's not getting not going to die early. You know, look on the side. You can see where his belly is. If you get that little enclave in the bottom there, see the way he's long, but he's not thick. That's what I'm looking at there. So, if you ever have a fish like this that's sick, this is what you want to do. Always want to make sure you set up a quarantine tank. This is an old-fashioned sponge filter. If you guys aren't aware of these were used back in the 70s and 80s. I got them at a closeout sale. I forgot where it was, but we got a bunch of old stuff, including this tank here. This tank actually was an old, like, 30-year tank, and it was never used. So I got this tank and a bunch of filters. I use them on other tanks too. Down here I got the smaller one, but they're old-fashioned Whisper canister. Not canister. They call them mini internal canister filters, but it's actually a sponge filter because you can do so much with these, and this is why I like them. And I don't know why they're not as popular as they used to be, because I use those sponge filters too, and these are just the cheap ones. I don't use any Aquarium Co-op. They work fine for me. I never had a problem. I think they work great, but I also use sponge filters with other filtration. So, you know, I double the filtration, whatever I got to do. But these old-fashioned ones, I love them because you can put ceramic media down there. You could take you can move. There's a sponge in there. I put some polyfill. You could also put whatever type of chemical you want to put. You want to put crushed coral is not chemical, but you can put crushed coral in there to help your pH. You could put carbon in there. What I usually do is once this guy's done being treated, what I'll do is I'll take the ceramic out, or I'll keep the ceramic out. I never take the ceramic out because that's your beneficial bacteria on there. But I'll keep one of the sponges in there. Take one of them out, and I'll put carbon in there for about 3 or 4 days. And carbon, if you're not sure or aware, carbon cleans up any kind of chemicals you may have in there or any kind of medication. So that's what you want to do. So again, when you guys are treating fish, always make sure you have a quarantine tank set up. I have this as a holding tank. My wife always gets mad at me because I have too many tanks, but there's a reason why I do it. It's not because I want to keep, like, this tank is not even set up for any more fish. It's just set up for holding, and I have about 6 of those downstairs for quarantine and holding new fish, or making them available to put in the main tanks. So it's always important to have extra, like I said, extra tanks. Even if you get like a 10-gallon, this guy's probably too small for 10-gallon. That's why I like the 15 because it's taller. You could even use, like, I would love to use a 40-gallon, but that tank is being used, or a 20-gallon. But the 20-gallon is pretty much the same thing as a 15-gallon. It's pretty much the same dimensions. It's only 5 gallons less. So anyway, and then obviously this tank down here, we'll keep an eye on it. The blue carrot looks like they're chasing the chevrons already. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn this light off, and usually when there's aggression going on, you can turn the light off. But one thing I don't want to do is stress this tank out. So if this happens to be a stressful tank, then we'll have to move these guys. So, but we'll keep an eye on it. What's most important is getting this guy treated. And like I said, I could always take those guys out and put them back in here until they get big enough to go in the main tank. But they're obviously too small to go into the big tank. But I just keep looking at that Brochardi chasing the chevron. So if that goes on the rest of the day, we'll have to move them out of there. Looks like it's getting worse. So I may have to just take them out of there for now and put them downstairs. So anyway, that's the video for today, guys. This is just an educational video. We want to make sure we'll keep an eye on this fish. We'll let you guys know how he does, like we did the blue car when he had dropsy. We kept an eye on him, and we showed a video how the progression. If I come in here tomorrow and there's worms at the bottom, I will film it, show you guys. If not, then we'll have to go to the next step, and hopefully we'll have to keep trying stuff with this guy. The next thing I was going to try is I actually soaked some food. I don't know if I have it over here. I did soak some food in, might be downstairs. Oh no, I think I put it in one of these containers here. I did soak some food in Epsom salt, which you could do too. Epsom salt actually makes them poop better. So that's why, when I'm thinking this guy's got some parasites because he's not pooping. So if he was pooping better, I knew I would solve the problem. But like I said, this guy's not pooping now. I've been keeping an eye on him. So we'll update you guys on the next video. Keep an eye on it, and we'll let you guys know. All right? So next time, remember, if you can't own them, rehome them. And if you like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff will be greatly appreciated. All right? See you guys next time.